mentally, emotionally, I was miserable because I didn't love myself. I was trying to find myself. I was trying to heal through my childhood traumas. I never took time to just be by myself so I could heal through my childhood traumas. I was trying to have men heal me. Hi, beautiful people. Hey, yes, this is my second video I made today. Mind your business. However, welcome back to another Thursday Therapy Talks with Tish. Today's therapy session is going to be about childhood trauma. It's deep. We all have childhood traumas, some that we heal from easily, some that we need help healing from. But I do believe our childhood shaped us into the people and the grown adults that we are today. And you know, a lot of the people who are psychopaths and serial killers, if you go back to their childhood, they were either abused, mistreated, abandoned. Something normally, not all the time, but something normally happens that fucks with their psychological and has them turn into monsters. So childhood trauma, someone getting raped, it can be a child having a bad relationship with their parents. It can be a child, you know, being bullied at school. It can be a child, it can be a family being homeless and that child not eating its proper nutrition and, you know, having the basic essentials and necessities that child needs. It can be, you know, the child's siblings beating on them or, you know, sexually abusing them. Childhood trauma can be a lot. I believe that childhood trauma is just anything that really happened to you in your childhood that was not supposed to happen to you and that made you, that caused trauma in your life that, you know, you're either healed from or that you're still healing from. I just know me personally, I did go through childhood trauma. You know, thank God I was not sexual. And my parents had a very, very toxic relationship growing up. And it was always cops being called. It was just a lot of that going on. So it's just like me and relationships. I kind of seen relationships in a bad light. I never seen like a real healthy monogamous relationship. So in my own relationships, I have struggled on, you know, just not knowing how to be toxic, you know, because I've been around toxic parents who had toxic relationships. So, you know, if you're not taught how to not be toxic, you're going to keep that cycle going. That's why they talk about breaking generational curses and things of that nature. That's kind of, you know, where that's stemming from. And me, personally, I know God sent me to break generational curses because I have been breaking them. I do have a long way to go, but I have been breaking them. Story about me, I have went through that. I looked at love in a certain light because I just didn't understand why my parents couldn't make it work, especially when they call themselves Christians. You know, I just didn't understand that. Of course, the older I got, the more I realized just because you're a Christian does not mean you're going to have a successful, healthy marriage. Some people just aren't meant to be. And some people get together for the wrong reasons. That was one of my childhood traumas, just being in a household where my parents had a very toxic relationship. It wasn't no love shown in between them. You know, as I said, the things that I thought when I got older with love that men were showing me was not love. I went through toxic relationships and things of that nature, but that will be the next topic, which we're going to talk about toxic relationships. But as of right now, I'm talking about, y'all, my eyelash. We're talking about childhood traumas, and I truly believe that it's important and it's crucial to heal from your childhood trauma, especially before you have children, because sometimes you may catch yourself in some of the things that your parents have done to you or your family members have done to you because you have not learned that that's not okay and that's not healthy. Because if no one comes to tell you that what you're doing or what your parents were doing is not healthy, how will you ever know? I just truly believe that first, sitting down by yourself, with yourself, or if you're not strong enough to do that, with a therapist or with someone trusted, you know, that is educated on how to help you, sitting down and really acknowledging your childhood traumas is the start of it all. You know, because if you don't sit down and acknowledge this was wrong and this was right, like I said, you're going to go teaching your kids. You might go teaching your kids the wrong thing, and you don't want to put your children through the childhood traumas that you went through, you know, because knowledge is power. So especially in our Black communities, I just feel as though It's a lot of generational curses that needs to be broken. But instead of breaking them, a lot of us want to use the excuse that, oh, my mom and dad did it, or oh, my grandma did it to me. And instead of growing from that trauma and healing from that trauma, we continue to pass it on to our children. And if we continue to do that, how will the cycle ever stop? You know, like, let's think about it. If we really continue to pass down our childhood traumas, how will this cycle ever stop? It's not going to stop if we don't make a stop to it. Our children we didn't deserve it. Not at all. But just because it happens to us doesn't mean that we have to continue that generational curse, continue those negative toxic traits, because, you know, it's not good, and nothing good can come from bad and evil, you know. So that's just my thoughts on it, you know, just a little rant. I feel as though once we start healing from our childhood trauma and our ancestors' pain and, you know, things of that nature, that's when our community will start to grow and heal, and our children will have a better future. It all starts in your home. Like, let's be real. It all starts in your home. It's not easy. It's difficult. A lot of people mentally can't handle it. I know being toxic is way easier than healing and not being toxic and showing great, you know, good behaviors and doing the right thing. Like, it's hard to do the right thing, especially when it comes to relationships and growing and evolving and elevating. But just know that it's all worth it. You know, you don't want your child suffering with the same mental issues as you because they had to go through the same things that your parents put you through. Now you're putting your kids through it. It's not okay, and we need to do something about that. So that's the first topic. And the second topic we're going to talk about today are toxic relationships. Toxic relationships. How many times do we find ourselves in toxic relationships? Okay, but I'm gonna tell y'all something that y'all might not want to hear. It takes two people to have a toxic relationship, okay? Like, I was the one that was like, man, all these men keep treating me wrong. They keep using and abusing me. They keep being this and that, not understanding that sometimes I was just as toxic as them. But, you know, we don't want to hear stuff like that. We don't want to look in the mirror. We don't want to be told that we're wrong. But just know, if you love yourself, you will not be in no toxic relationship. I'm telling you that right now. If you truly love yourself and value yourself and know that you deserve better, you will not entertain that toxic relationship. That first toxic flag that your partner shows, you're going and you're out. But a lot of times we say it's so hard, and yes, it is hard to leave toxic relationships. Trust me, baby. I have only told y'all a couple of stories, but if I sat down and told y'all everything, y'all would know I understand that it's very, very difficult to leave a toxic relationship. It's more hard and difficult to leave a toxic relationship versus a healthy relationship. Think about it. Like, it's hard because misery loves company. And I noticed in the past when I had nothing but toxic relationships, I was miserable. Mentally, emotionally, I was miserable because I didn't love myself. I was trying to find myself. I was trying to heal through my childhood traumas. I never took time to just be by myself so I could heal through my childhood traumas. I was trying to have men heal me when I needed to heal myself. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us do that because, you know, us women, we're taught, grow up, become the best wife, find a husband, have babies, and that's it. No. Us women, we have a better purpose than to just have somebody's kids and to just be somebody's housewife, okay? Like, we are nurturers, we are healers, and we make things happen. A lot of women have made monumental things happen on this planet. Let's be real. Men have too. I know they say it's a man's world. I understand all that. But right now, we're talking about women. And I just want all my women to know that toxic love, it feels so good. Because, you know, it's easing all your wounds, it's easing all your self-sabotaging. It makes you feel like you're loved, because I know 9 times out of 10, the women who are in toxic relationships, they just want love. But you have to realize that love that you're accepting from the wrong people is doing nothing for you but pushing you further back than where you want to be. But all the right love God has put inside of you. And it took me forever to realize that everything I was looking for was inside of me. I thought I could find it in this man, that man, that man. But in all actuality, I realized it was in myself. And I realized when it was too late that I was, well, let me not say too late. I realized when it was, you know, a time in my life after I have endured all that suffering and pain from dealing with the wrong people, I realized that all the love that I needed was inside of me. I just never sat down and dated myself. I never sat down and got to know myself. I never sat down and really took the time to understand myself, because I was just so scared to be alone. And when you're alone, that's when God uses you the most, because you don't have no distractions. It's just you and him. So being alone is a beautiful thing. Know that toxic relationships, they never get better. Yo, they never get better. I don't care how much you love him or her. You know, sometimes I do believe that you do meet the right people at the wrong time. You know, sometimes I do believe that you and that person sometimes can separate, and God can, if y'all meant to be, God gonna bring y'all back together in the future when y'all are ready for each other. But to sit in a toxic relationship, it does no good. It really doesn't. It does no good. After you enter a toxic relationship and deal with that trauma that the toxic relationship causes, and the abuse, even if it was emotionally, financially, physically, mentally, just think about all the healing you have to do. You have to heal yourself from your past traumas, your childhood traumas, high school, whatever you went through then. And now on top of all of that, you have to heal yourself from the trauma that that person caused, that you were in a toxic relationship with. Because, you know, certain men tend to, I'm gonna let you know right now, ladies, if you don't love yourself and value yourself, men can see right through you. They can see it. Especially like men who are very toxic. I truly feel like certain men be looking for women who have low self-esteem, who are very weak-minded, who don't know who they are, who has bad relationships with their family. I feel like certain men look for women like that because they know that they can, you know, come into their life and take over their mind, because they don't know, you know, women who don't love themselves, you know, don't know how to think for themselves anyway. So I feel as though certain men, you know, target women like that, because I was one of the women who were targeted. You know, I dated a lot of older men in my past. I thought, oh, if I date older men, they'll want to settle down and they'll actually, you know, be here for me. But it was the opposite. They were smarter, more wiser. Yeah. So, yeah, y'all, this was a little rant on childhood trauma and toxic relationship. Therapy Talk Thursdays. That's a tongue twister. Therapy Talk Thursdays with Tish. If you guys want, like, whatever other topics you guys want to hear, comment them down below, or inbox me on Instagram and just be like, you know, Therapy Tisha, I want to hear about this topic or that topic. Just let me know. Today, this week's topics, I came off, you know, the top of my zone with, because I just haven't been posting on Instagram. You know, there's been a lot going on. But, yeah, we're going to do these Therapy Talk Thursdays twice a month. I need to stick to my regular scheduled program, but your girl been going through a lot of things off the internet, good and bad, okay? But yes, y'all, just know that, yes, healing is a difficult process, but once you heal, you will never regret going through that journey, because it makes you a better person. It makes you a better daughter, sister, husband, wife, parent, mother, father, teacher, counselor. It makes you a better you when you heal from the wounds that are tormenting you and that are weighing on your shoulders. I don't believe God intended for us to just be suffering mentally, emotionally all our lives. That's why there's such thing called forgiveness. That's why there's such thing called healing, because we need to go through those things in order to become the greatest us. So, I love y'all. Welcome to the second therapy session with Tisha, okay? I'm going to link the other one, the first one that I did, in the cards right here. And I'm going to also link it in the description below. I love y'all. Remember, I love you, but God love you more. And be blessed, be prosperous, and be positive.